Now, welcome to another edition of News from Naboo with our lightning takes. And let's get right to the news.
By talking about Andor.
All right, a topic I can get behind.
I know, it is one of our favorite topics because obviously we liked Andor. So let's start out with a new article I found where Andor writer Dan Gilroy, who's of course Tony Gilroy's brother, talked about Emperor Palpatine and that he probably would have appeared in the show had they been able to stick to the original 5-season plan.
Okay, I think that makes sense, right?
Absolutely, it makes sense. Originally, the plan was for there to be 5 full seasons representing 5 full years.
And then they realized nobody could stand that much goodness. It would have broke the space-time continuum.
Good.
Yeah, too much awesomeness.
So Dan said, really, actually, this moment is the most I've actually thought about it. So what else would we have explored? Oh my god, where would we have gone? I mean, I can't imagine over 5 years we wouldn't have shown the Emperor at that point. I think we would have gotten closer to that world. I think we would have gone like, we're really getting a good sense of opposition forces here, but let's go deeper into the power at that moment. The halls of power. I think we would have gone deeper into the halls of power and explored that. That would have been the natural way to go. I think the progression of it.
Like actually using him as a character, not just an appearance, It sounds like.
They wanted to go deeper, and they did in this season. We went deeper into what is the Empire doing, what are the purposes, what other plans do they have going on, and they would have just kept chiseling right down in there. Right, they would have gone all the way to Palpatine's office to find out the plans and what he wants done. I mean, they referenced how many times the things he wanted done.
Yeah.
We would have heard it from the horse's mouth.
How incredible could that have potentially been to get 5 seasons of that show? Can you imagine that? We'd still have 3 more seasons, and second season wouldn't have gone as far, obviously gone into the places this one, or, it did after all.
We praised the show for character development. How many more characters would they have been able to fully flesh out for us? I mean, think of the Gorman Rebellion. It was a couple of 6 episodes at most.
Kinda, yeah.
With encompassing the whole thing. We would have gotten to know a lot of the rebels more personally, would have understood the culture even better. We could have had a lot more.
Yeah, I think we would have just seen things obviously we didn't know about the Gorman massacre. Well, we actually heard about it once upon a time in the old EU and all that. But I mean, that's not something we thought was going to be on the radar necessarily. So what other things were off the radar that would have been? Like, what did we not get? Where would they have gone? Is basically what I'm asking. Who knows?
Who knows? Because
we're just thinking about we're just thinking about what they could have expanded from what we've seen, but they had so much more room to work with.
Absolutely. We saw so much of the inner workings of the Empire, but we never saw Palpatine, we never saw Vader, we didn't see Tarkin, though we knew Tarkin's coming into Rogue One.
Yeah.
There was just so much that was sadly omitted. I understand the time crunch that happened. Previously, did you know that Tony Gilroy even mentioned Darth Vader in his thoughts?
We all think about Darth Vader, though.
He said Darth Vader was never on my agenda. Writing for Darth Vader is really limiting. I've done it. He doesn't have a lot to say.
He really doesn't.
No,
I mean,
he's
not
a man of action.
He is.
And puns.
Few words, yes.
Those little quips here and there.
Don't choke on your aspirations.
No, don't do it.
Yeah.
Because I'll choke you.
I mean, would that have been cool to see Andor go? I mean, in a way, it could have been like the two polar opposites. Like the upper echelon of the Empire, we could have seen like Palpatine and Vader, and then we're getting the ground of the rebellion, the grunts on the ground, the ones who just made it up and who started it. Kind of could have been this interesting dichotomy there.
I would have loved to see that.
Yeah.
That could have been absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, it could have been. I mean, not that the show isn't great as is, but you start to think about what could have been in 5 seasons. What do you do in 5 seasons? Because like I said, we're not even thinking about all the different things they could have done and gone with. We're seeing like, oh, this is the 4 seasons that were supposed to happen all condensed, and we're just kind of assuming, oh, there would be extended, when in reality they probably would have gone all sorts of crazy new places.
Not to mention the other cameos we would have gotten. We kept saying we thought maybe we'll see some of the inner workings going on with Galen Erso.
Yeah, I think that definitely gets covered more, right?
Right. We also didn't get to see Bodhi Rook. Could have seen some of him, or what changed him into being Galen's guy.
Yeah, Galen's guy. Yeah. I like that.
Which is interesting. They also spoke with Riz Ahmed about the fact that he wasn't in Andor, and this is what he had to say. I spoke to showrunner Tony Gilroy about this afterwards. I was like, yeah, thanks a lot, bud. Everyone gets a cameo apart from your old pal Riz. He was like, actually, I thought about it. but it would have thrown all the timeline off, and it would have unpicked a lot of the plotting. There just wasn't room for him
Yeah,
in
it really.
Andor
Yeah, I get
because
that.
he has a job later. You can't show him as like secretly working for the rebellion because that undercuts how important him defecting from the Empire was.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
I get it.
what you do is you have the whole Galen Urso, plot going, and then you introduce him into that,
Mm-hmm.
and we see him begin to get swayed by Galen, and until he becomes Galen's guy.
The things you could do with more time.
Oh, you could do so much.
There just wasn't room for that.
Yeah.
Another fun factoid I found. Tony Gilroy, he has said that Andor's creative team and everything, they're going crazy with the success. But he's also concerned about the controversy that's been coming up because of Andor.
Oh.
It's kind of a funny thing. First off, he and his show's creative team are crazy. They're getting such a positive response with the series. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's great. But the fact that it is actually creating controversy is putting Andor against the rest of the Star Wars live-action projects.
What do you mean controversy? What controversy is it creating? Other than people who don't like it and think it's not Star Wars.
He says, it's driven us crazy on the show. Every time people, the clickbait, trying to draw controversy between us and the other shows. By the same token, it'd be very wrong to come in and try and slavishly reproduce Andor. There has been a hook for a reason. That's why you bring your game here. He's talking about how many fans have criticized Lucasfilm's reliance on the Skywalker saga to fuel their storytelling, with the only one not being in the timeline really being the Acolyte. But first off, people are criticizing that, look at Andor. You guys are relying so heavy on the timeline. Andor kind of held its own within its own bubble. It's still in the timeline, but it can tell a great story. What's wrong with you?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's a fair question, though.
I think he just doesn't...
He doesn't want to be like...
Or Disney's telling him, hey, you guys did too well, and it's making the rest of us look bad.
But it's a fair question. Like, what did they do that the other shows couldn't do?
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it's all about how he framed the story.
I think so. I think it's the right. I mean, it's 99% the writing. It is so well written, in my opinion. Anyway, it just is something so far apart from all the other shows. It's kind of sad in a way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that I like, oh, it's Andor's fault. Like, that's not really true, because even if Andor didn't exist, we would still question the other shows and their writing. It's just like, now we have this example of that they can do it right. So it's kind of frustrating.
Well, the problem is that the other shows kind of all live within a box. They all have a very similar formulaic approach to things, and they all feel almost repetitive in that measure.
I guess. I don't know.
Andor felt entirely different from the other projects because of how it's written, because of the depth it drew, because it's almost feeling like a little bit of a different genre in a way.
Yeah.
Whereas
there's
everything
no reason
else
the others
is the
couldn't
same.
have done that. Like, why don't the other shows do that?
That's one thing Tony Gilroy mentions. He says, there's how many billions of beings in that galaxy? How many corners of it are unexplored? There are some things that Lucasfilm is building that are really unusual, I think, and I think that lesson is being taken to heart. Let your freak flag fly and do what you do best.
So was he like privy to like some...
It seems that way.
Because he talks about the horror movie thing too?
He seems to know something on the inside that they're maybe inviting in new talent who specialize in different genres, and they're going to let them tell Star Wars stories in the galaxy that it's big enough to hold these stories.
Well, I think you're partly right there, certainly. But I think it's also the fact, because I don't know that it's necessarily bringing in all sorts of different people, but Andor did get critical praise. And a lot of fans, not all of the fans, really liked it and like, wow, this is amazing Star Wars. So if you're Disney and Lucasfilm and you've struggled to get the fans on board with a lot of your projects, you're like, hey, Tony, you got like 5 minutes? We want to take you behind the curtain, show you what else we're working on, and
get your opinion,
get your thoughts. So, because it sounds like he's like, again, privy to all sorts of...
He knows something.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily work that way. Just because he's working for Lucasfilm doesn't mean like, hey, let's just show you everything. You know, every project is independent, but it sounds like he's been like showing stuff.
Well, if you recall, we used to praise the Marvel Cinematic Universe because all of their projects, despite being in one singular timeline at the time, seemed to have different genres. I mean, Captain America...
Like a spy thriller.
There was the war movie, then there was the spy thriller.
Yeah, the Civil War and the Winter Soldier.
You have the buddy cop movie that kind of felt like Ant-Man Quantumania. They were all, the space opera and Guardians of the Galaxy, they were all in one cinematic universe, but because they all felt so different, it was refreshing.
No, it was.
And if they're going to try something like that within Star Wars, telling stories of different parts of the galaxy, you can get away with a lot more.
I agree.
Yeah. So I think he knows something like that is happening, and he's just teasing us all the time.
Yeah.
Darn you, Tony Gilroy.
No, I think he knows. I think Lucasfilm, fingers crossed, is trying some new and different things and realizes their approach hasn't been working so well lately.
So on to a new approach.
Hopefully. All right, well, that is going to be all we got for you this time. Your turn. Take to the comments below. Tell us what you think of any and all of today's news. And let's talk some Star Wars. And so until next time, thanks for watching.